Good. Well, it's afternoon now. 1 minute. I got a late start on it here on the countdown. So, yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Got several people in here. Got Super Scouts in this morning and Sun Jam Cart's in here. Alrighty, so let me get stuff squared away here real quick and get the other thing up here now that we've got that part out. There we go. And boom, there we go. All right, so here's where we left off yesterday. So let me go ahead and unhighlight this. Come on, show it to me. Microsoft is running really sloppy. Come on. There it goes. All righty. So chapter 1 and 2 was Saturday, and it was the word of the planetoid had leaked out, and everyone got introduced to the members of the lake and what was going on. And so now it's the next morning, and we're going to see what they're going to do. There we go. All right. Sunday, new morning, October 4th. Phalen was up early Sunday morning checking out the trailers for the trip to the lake. They still had room for some more supplies, and the weight was below the maximum for each trailer. Mark was also up and checking out the Ranger 2 6x6 crew cab. By 7:30, everyone was up, and Lisa and Jenny were making pancakes for everyone. Max and Hannah, his wife, Mike and Pauline were supposed to arrive anytime. After breakfast, they would hook up the trailers and caravan to their meeting point at the outlets at Anthem on Interstate 17, where they would meet up with several other families of the group and then head out to the lake. 10 families heading up with supplies, RVs, travel trailers, and supply trailers. 6 families had headed out the night before with their RVs. Some of the RVs and travel trailers were just being staged at the lakes, while others, the families, were moving there and setting up for the duration of the event. Hang on, that's wow. That's why. There we go. While for other families, yeah, keep it singular there. Oh, we got, all right. Tammy's in here. Rebel Canners just came in. And we got a couple others. I can tell by the numbers up there. We got a couple more watching here. Let's see. Setting for the duration of the event, whether it was just 3 weeks or longer. Of the 48 RV/travel trailer pads at the lake, 33 were reserved and paid for by their owners. The pads had room for 2 RVs or trailers or 2 vehicles. The 18 modular homes belonged to some of the more affluent members of the group. These included 3 doctors, 1 dentist, 2 lawyers, 1 captain of the Arizona Highway Patrol, and 1 software designer. 2 belonged to the Edwards family, 1 to Maxwell Young, and Young's family, FAM, because there is his wife and daughter in his family. Okay. 1 to McDaniels, 1 to Bill Parker, and 1 to J.P. Hara. The other 4 modular homes belong to a group of self-reliant families that Pauline had met and Thomas, the Arizona Highway Patrol captain, had vetted. The 4 families were going to be the backbone of off-grid living instructors. Between them, they had 6 blogs, 7 YouTube shows, 2 full-on websites, and several newsletters. Phalen had some misgivings at the size the group had grown to, but he also realized that in order to survive a major Tawaki event, a large number of people and skills would be needed. Everyone would have to learn to do multiple job sets to maintain the knowledge of that job in case of accidents or other reasons. That was one of the reasons that he gave Mick such large latitude. Gary pulled his F450 extended cab forward enough to the open garage door and then backed up and hooked up to Mike's 3-axle trailer. Gary had suggested, and Mark and Phalen agreed, that they should transfer as much of the supplies to the 3-axle trailer in the backseat of Gary's F450 because it could handle the weight without any trouble at all. They would have they would leave the 2-axle trailer here to stage any supplies that they would be able to get during the next couple days. Once they were at the lake, they would make the decision whether they were going to haul the 3-axle trailer back with them or not. Hang on. Or not. Of course, those plans could change depending on what transpired during the night and on NASA's trajectory plot of the planetoid. Excuse me. Phalen and Mark were pulling a tarp over the 6x6 when Bill and Patricia pulled up and parked in front of the driveway. They hopped out and gave him a hand. So why are we covering the monster? Bill asked. Since we're going to be gone all day, I don't want anyone getting the idea that they should try to take it. If it's covered, they don't know whether they don't know what it is or whether it's even running, Phalen said. I'll keep an eye on the place in between shopping runs, Mark added, but there's no sense in taking any chances. I see you got the Suburban loaded up, Phalen noted. Yeah, it's the stuff I've been putting off taking to the lake, Patricia said regrettably. Max and Hannah should be here any second, Phalen said as they finished hooking the last of the bungee cords, plural. Go ahead inside and see if Jenny and Lisa have breakfast finished yet. We'll be in as soon as I put the Humvee back in the garage. Okay, but don't be too mad if Bill eats all the pancakes, Patricia said with a smile. Phalen was closing the garage door when Max and Hannah pulled up in the Escalade, pulling a huge fifth-wheel trailer that was hooked up to the Escalade with some sort of fifth-wheel dolly. What is that? Mark asked as he walked over to check out the apparatus. That is the automated safety hitch system. It takes all of the downward weight off of the tow vehicle and gives it a much wider pivot point, so I don't have to swing as wide to go around corners. Plus, it has the brakes of 1.5 tons, Max said with a bit of pride. What's with the new travel trailer? Phalen asked. You got a house at the lake. The house can't move. This is for emergencies. I'm going to park it in one of the hay barns until I can get an RV port built for it. Phalen smiled sheepishly. I should have thought of that. I should get one for up at the West Line Shack, Mark said wistfully. Phalen, dear, hang on, called Hannah. Can I talk to you for a minute? Sure thing. You boys go inside. We'll join you in a minute, Hannah said to Max and Mark. After Max and Mark went inside, Hannah continued. Phalen, I know the rules for the lake, but I have this friend. She's 31, married with 5 children, and a very smart husband. We've been talking about preparedness for years, and well, she's really the person She's really the person. Okay, hang on. Oh, she's really the reason. She's really the reason I got Max into this and all. Yeah. Sorry, I'm reading this again to make sure I got it right. Hang on, I'm gonna expand this here. There we go. Get some more gaps of hesitation in her speech. She's really the reason. Let me change this around. Max. Yeah, she's really the reason Max and I got into this and all. Anyways, I don't feel right abandoning them to the city. I was hoping you could either grant them a waiver or get Captain Harrow to do a quick check on them. Hannah Phalen began. I would love to give them a waiver, but it's more than that right now. What can they do for the group? Like I said, he's very smart. They have 6 years of long-term food supply already. Hang on. A flour mill, pasta makers, sausage stuffers, solar ovens, and a commercial grade food freeze dryer. Hang on here. 6 years of long-term food storage and a commercial grade freeze dryer. Yes, she said with a sly grin. I take it that she's a stay-at-home mom with the 5 kids. What does her husband do for work? I'm not sure. She doesn't like to talk about his job. Phalen thought for a moment and then said, I will meet with them tonight at your house when we get back, but I want to see their tax returns for the last 3 years. I'll call her and have her ready to come over when we get back. They went inside and my shoulder's really bugging me here. They went inside and joined the others for breakfast. Gary had explained his idea about the trailers to the others, and they were in agreement with it. Mark was laying out what he was going to do and writing down items of interest to pick up. There were 3 Sam's Clubs in the Phoenix Tempe area, as well as 5 Costco warehouses. He'd be contacting members of the group to start. Hang on, I need to add something here. Not going up today. To start hitting them for items on Lisa's list that they didn't have before. One of the things that she asked about was the grain silos at the lake. There were two old ones that the group didn't feel that it was worth their while to fix up. Phalen told her that they had chickens, sheep, goats, and cattle, lots of cattle. There were 21 head when he had inherited the land after his parents had died. His mom had inherited from another uncle 3 years before that. In the following 6 years, the herd had grown to about 70. There would have been more, but coyotes had been hunting the herd, taking calves in the wintertime. Then 3 years ago, the members of the group started hunting the coyotes. Comma, and hang on, I got to redo this. I got mixed times here. I'm fixing it. Last summer, Last summer they only got 2, and the herd, hang on here, was growing again just by grazing the grasslands. The group talked about building a pig pen, but there was already signs of wild pigs at the southern end of the property, so they agreed not to. But Donald, Mark's grandfather, aka Grandpa Don, went ahead and built a pig pen next to one of the barns. He said they would need a lot of pigs when everyone was living there. Hang on, we're going to get this in. Come on, give it to me. Particularly healthy and particularly particularly pigs that were healthy and parasite free. Lisa had stayed up later after that. Oh, sorry. Lisa had stayed up later after after she and her dad had finished talking. She searched the internet for information on survival groups and what they had set up for their redoubts. She told them during breakfast that fowl, rabbits, pigs, goats, sheep, cows, and horses were common threads for livestock to have on hand. As much as I like cute and cuddly rabbits as pets, we need to get some for food stock, Lisa said emphatically. Well, Phalen began, there were 20 goats and 10 sheep there in a corral by the big barn that your dad forgot to mention, but yes, we should try to get more as soon as we can. And some alpacas. There are several farms near here, and she held up a Visa card. I have Mom's Visa card that I'm allowed to sign on. She's got a $15,000 line on it. I know nothing. I see nothing, Gary said as he quickly got up from the table and took his plate into the kitchen. What? Lisa protested. Protested at everyone's looks. She dumps me off on Dad's front porch, hands me the card, and says, "See you later," and I'm not supposed to use it. Phalen started laughing. Okay, tomorrow we'll kill off the card and get some alpacas, rabbits. What? Hollered Gary from the kitchen. Hold it. Your mom will kill me. Does she know where the lake is? Oh, hang on. I need to put some. Hang on. I need to change this up here. Come on. Control C. Does she know about the lake? Hang on, come on. I want to put that up there. Lisa asked. And I want to put this one here, up there. No, but does she know? So does she know about the lake? No. Does she know? Hang on, I got to rework this then. Where you might go to? No, but nothing. Even if this is all for nothing, I'm not going back to live with her. She's too close-minded. two's closed-minded. Hang on, more than that. Hang on, put something on here. S-E. She's too self-centered and closed-minded. And you guys have opened my mind and treated me as an adult as far as my opinion is concerned. I feel more love here than I ever did at home. Let me get something here to wake up with. They all sat in silence, not knowing what to say or do for several seconds, plural. Then Jenny got up, walked over to Lisa, and hugged her. Lisa, I'm probably going to get yelled at for this, but I have a very good friend who is a juvenile court judge. She sits on most of the emancipated minor cases. I think I can get her to declare you either an emancipated minor or give your dad full custody of you. I think that's a great idea, Max said. I agree, said Phalen. What's an emancipated minor? Lisa asked. It means you'll be considered an adult for just about everything. Your mom won't be able to do squat to make you go back with her. Once I'm an emancipated minor, that can't be undone. Only if you can't commit a bunch of crimes, but then you'll be a ward of the court at juvie. It's a good thing I recorded her giving me the card when she abandoned me on Dad's doorstep. What? While Gary started. Thank you for giving your daughter back, Jenny snickered. Gary thought for a second, said, yeah, and reached over and hugged Lisa. So you're going to become a farm girl and raise rabbits, pigs, and alpacas? Yeah, I guess so, Lisa said. Well, it looks like we did the right thing this morning, said Mike from the doorway. Hey, we were wondering when you'd get here, Max replied. What'd you do that was right? Well, Pauline and I talked about the list Lisa sent to you and you forwarded to everyone. Anyways, comma, the more we talked about it, the more questions Pauline had for Lisa, so she emailed her. And I spent an hour instant messaging last night. She brought up the animal food stock. So we went to Lowe's this morning with one of the big text trailers from work and got fencing materials for pens for rabbits, pigs, and of course alpacas. Well, hurry up and eat, and we'll finish shifting supplies excuse me, to the big trailer. I'm going to clean up in here, Lisa said to Jenny. You go on and help them outside. Are you sure? Like an adult if you're going to be able to get your friend to emancipate me. Okay, you got it. Leaving Lisa to clean up, Mike and Pauline finished off the pancakes as, hang on here, as the rest went out to the garage to pack all the supplies into the 3-axle trailer in Gary's truck. When they were done repacking the trailer and had pulled it out of the garage so Phalen could close and lock the door to that garage bay. Hang on here. They were done repacking the trailer and had pulled out of the garage. They were done repacking the trailer and had pulled it out of the garage, comma. So Phalen could close and lock the door to that garage bay, comma, when 2 motorcycles pulled up. These were not street bikes, neither were they motocross. These were set up for off-road long distance. These were set up for off-road driving, long distance off-road travel. Hey, Gary, you got room for these? One of the writers asked. Not really, Andy. But if we move some of those rolls of chicken wire off of Mike's truck onto mine, we should be able to get them into the flatbed and secure them nicely between the pipe rack sides. Gary replied, pointing to Mike's work truck. Sorry, no subject. Oh, sorry, leaving Lisa. No verb. All right. See, actually, that's the way Juvie is spelled. Let me go back up here and see what you're doing. Okay. Let me go back and see what you're doing, Juvie. Okay. Next one you said there was comma after the more we talked about it. Come on down here. See if I can find that. Anyways, the more we talked about. Actually, you're kind of half right. So the more we talk, comma, take out the about. Yeah, the more we talk, the more questions Pauline had for it. Okay, we got that one. Thank you. Oh, leaving Lisa to clean up. There we go. Thank you. Thank you for catching that one. And leaving Lisa to clean up. The breakfast. DISH dishes. I need to break this up here. Thanks for pointing it out. Let me see if I get the. Hey, Myra Page is in the house. Leaving Lisa to clean up the dishes. While Mike and Pauline finished off the pancakes, comma. There we go. Yeah. Leaving Lisa to clean up the breakfast dishes while Mike and Pauline finished off the pancakes. The rest went out to the garage. Yeah, okay, got that. All right. All right. All right. Gary replied, pointing to Mike. That'll work. You guys want to give us a hand? Andy said as he pulled up into the driveway. They removed 15 rolls work truck and stacked them in the bed of Gary's F450. In the bed of Gary's F450. He had a low-profile utility box with a heavy-duty steel top with a pipe rack on top of that. Most of the rolls were able to fit inside, but they had to put 6 rolls on top and strap them down with to the pipe rack. Looks just like a work truck. No one would think of looking for food in here, Phalen commented. You're right. It does look like any old work truck. Perfect, Gary smiled. Mike and Pauline came out just in time to see them loading the two motorcycles into the back of Mike's work truck. Andy, Mike shouted, what, you too lazy to ride up to the lake? Now I'm going to co-pilot for Gary so he doesn't get lost. Hang on, let me put in there. What's what I'm looking for here? Not comment, but I'm going to put that in there. That right now. Let me do this. Do a little search here on it. That's spelled wrong. That's not the right com. Yeah, it's there we go. That's the right word. Observed, remarked, stated. With a bit of yeah, there we go. The other riser eased over next to Gary and under his breath asked, hey, who are the two hotties with Mike and Pauline? Well, Jerry, Gary said smoothly in a voice loud enough that Lisa and Jenny could hear him as he wrapped his arm firmly around Jerry's shoulder and started walking him forward. The red-headed hottie is Jenny. She's Phalen's girl. Jerry struggled feebly to get away. Woman, Jenny and Phalen yelled back at the same time. Yes, woman. And he cleared his throat. The younger hottie that you are really asking about, well, that's Lisa, my daughter. And she asked me to find her a husband. Gary winked at Lisa and held Jerry tighter. Seeing the wink, Lisa strutted up like a runway model to Jerry, looking him up and down. He is kind of cute. Hang on, let me change this up here. In a lost puppy dog sort of way, she said in her sexiest voice. How old is he? How old are you now, Jerry? 16 or 17? 16, he stammered. Ooh, I know what he has on his mind. She stepped in against him and ran her fingers through his hair. Don't you? She grabbed his riding jacket with one hand and a handful of his hair with the other and pulled his head down to her and put a lip lock on him like he never had before. After 10 seconds, Jerry tried to back away, his mouth moving up and down, nothing coming out, but Lisa held him tight. What, don't you want me? She licked her lips and glanced past Jerry, saw Phalen holding Andy back with a hand over Andy's mouth, whispering in his ear, and decided to take it up a level. and stepped a leg between his and started grinding against his leg and groin. Are you sure you don't want me? We could go inside. You can pop my cherry. No, finally Jerry got out. I'm not that type of guy. But Daddy says you were a player. I'm not. I just pretend to be. So everyone at school will like me. His voice dropped to a whisper. So you don't like loose, sexy women? No, Jerry let out a deep sigh. I want a woman like Mom. Lisa looked at her dad, who gave her a thumbs up. So you just play at being a player, but you really want is a girl who won't go out with a player because players don't commit and aren't trustworthy. And the type of girl you want only wants a boy that is trustworthy, right? He thought for a few seconds, trying to follow her logic. Yes, that's right. How's that working out? Pretending to be the type of guy that the type of girl you want doesn't want. Hang on, put this over there. Come on. Need a comma in there. Doesn't want any luck finding her, Jenny said. Not good at all, Jerry said, looked over at her. You think you might want to be the guy that the type of, you think you might want to try to be the guy that the type of girl you wants to be with? Jenny asked, giving his giving him a cocked head look. I'm gonna put tilted head instead of. I was gonna say cocked, but tilted, T-I-L, tilted head look. Yeah, I think you're right. He turned and yeah, I think you're right. He turned, hang on. Hey, hang on, let me put something in. Put more in here. Let me give some more description here. To get away. Moon over Miami's in the house. Woo! All right. He stopped trying to get away. And turned fully to her. Let me hang on. Let me take something out of here. Change this around to, and turn fully to look at Lisa. So what about you? Are you really looking for a guy that wants to hump a slut? Jerry froze as soon as he said it, and everyone gasped. He opened his mouth. Don't say a word. Because I have good news and bad news for you. She held up her index finger. First, I'm looking for a very faithful guy who will love, honor, and cherish me. Her second finger came up. Second, I was just pretending to be a loosey-goosey because my dad told me about how you've been acting out as a player when he thought you weren't. We came up with this little test. A third finger came up. So the good news is you passed that part. Jerry choked out. And the bad news, you inferred I was a slut. And you're not, right? He asked with a bit of hopefulness in his voice. I'm only 15 and a half. I'm still a virgin, she exclaimed, and turned and stormed off back up the driveway. Good, because I hate dating sluts, he said to her back. Lisa stopped mid-slide and looked at Jenny. Did he just say he wanted to date me? her shoulders and made a puzzled face. Jerry started to speak, but stopped and looked at his dad, who held up his hands and turned away, trying to stifle a snicker. Then he looked at Gary, who was looking straight up at the morning sky. He thought for several more seconds, not seeing the smile that was growing on Lisa's face. Then he smiled. I wish I had said that I wanted to date you. But the truth is, I was commenting on the sad fact that all the girls I ever dated were sluts, and I hated all of the dates that I have had because they're not like you. And what am I like? Said, still facing away from him. Tilting. Okay. How many minutes ago was that? That was quite a while ago. That was 6 minutes ago. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Let me get some regular water now. Still facing away from him. Yeah, and what am I like? She said, still facing away from him. I think you're a girl like my mom, strong-willed with a crazy, whacked-out sense of humor. If your dad is going to co-pilot for my dad, I guess you can. I guess you can ride in Phalen's truck with Jenny, Phalen, and me, she said, and walked over to the Dodge and waited at the back door, tapping her foot quickly. Jerry started to hurry over, open the door, but stopped short and turned to Gary. Mr. Rhodes, can I date your daughter? Gary still looking at the sky. I see nothing. I know nothing. I hear nothing. Come on, Sergeant Schultz. Let's get going before I smack you upside your head, Andy laughed. Sorry. Oh, no. Then added when they were out of earshot, you really set your daughter up with my son? Jerry quickly ran to Lisa and opened the door for her. Smiling, she climbed inside. He closed the door, ran around the other side, reached for the door handle, and stopped and turned towards Phalen. Mr. Patrick, can I ride in your truck? Whoops, wait a minute. Phalen laughed. I don't think it'd be safe for me if I said no. Climb in. Jenny came up to Phalen and put her arm around him. You weren't kidding yesterday when you said that these were your family. Strange for someone with the phobias to gain such a large family. No, good people make good family. Jenny replied. Two ends, one eat. Jenny replied. Let's see what we got here. After everyone had loaded up and started pulling out, Phalen said, out come on, out the Dodge's window to Mark. If you need to use it, the keys are in the hall closet. Mark nodded and gave him a thumbs up, and then stuck his hand back in his pants pocket and watched them head out. Okay. All right, let's see. They headed out on they headed out towards the 101 and would then head north when they got to Interstate 17. Hang on. This is one of those ones I typed up really quick and I never got back to correct it. I'm going to break this up. Then they headed north. And when they got to Interstate 17, and I got to work on. All right, let me. What is it? They head north. Hang on, let me fix this here. Headed north. Then when they got to Interstate 17, when they got to Interstate 17, comma, they transitioned onto it and headed north to the outlets at Anthem, where they would meet 10 of the families of the group. There we go. I think I got that. I'm just going to read it one more time. They headed out towards the 101 and headed north. Then when they got to Interstate 17, they transitioned onto it and headed north towards the outlets at Anthem, where they would at Anthem, comma, where they would meet 10 other family member, meet the 10 other family members of the. Hang on. Okay, this one here, just I'm going to reorganize this one here. Come on. Were to all right, where they would meet the other 10 member families. I'm going to take of the group out of there. Yeah. The other 10 member families that were headed up to the lake today. I think that sounds passable. Lisa sat behind Phalen, who was driving, and Jerry sat behind Jenny. For the first just a couple minutes. I want to give more than a couple minutes. for the first. I'm going to change this. For the first 15 minutes or so, they said nothing. And they said nothing. At the corner of her, out of the corner of her eye, Lisa watched Jerry fidget in silence. Then she decided to speak. Jenny, I spoke with my dad last night about what happened between him and my mom. What did he say? Well, it seems that two of my mom's friends told her that they had hang on, I want to change this around because they would say it the other way around. Two of my mom's friends told her that my dad had hang on, I need to change it around I'm trying to make it so it sounds like the friends were playing the victims here. Had been seduced by two of my mom's friends told her that my dad had seduced seduced and it seems that two of my mom's friends had told her that my dad had seduced them when he said that he was going hunting. Did he? He said he didn't. He didn't, Phalen interjected. How do you know? A couple years ago, I was with your dad and the guys he was hunting with when it happened. They told me all about it. Then my dad was faithful? Yes, he was, Phalen said. Until she divorced him. Lisa said softly. What happened then? Well, what happened then, Jenny asked. Well, he said she confronted him with what her friends had said, and he denied it and said that she could ask his hunting buddies, ING, hunting buddies. But she said that's what her friends said he would say. Anyway, she was so angry with him that she left me with him and went out that night with her friends. And got drunk and slept with several guys at once. Lisa choked up a little and then and stopped to compose herself. She partied like that all week. Dad said that when she finally came home, he showed her some photos and videos of the hunting trips with date timestamps showing that he was hunting and not with her friends. He said that when she saw the pictures proving that he had told the truth, she freaked out, packed up some of her stuff and mine, and left with me. He said he called the police right away because he was worried that she would do something suicidal or worse. Anyways, the police found her and brought me back, but her friends got a lawyer and they got her to file for divorce and sue so she could get custody. They got more friends to lie in court, and she got primary custody. He got stuck with restricted visitation. That's not right, Jerry muttered softly. Your friend the judge, how fast can she make me an emancipated minor? Well, with your recording of her abandoning you at your dad's place when no one was home, and if your dad agrees to it, she could do it by Wednesday. Good. Can I get a restraining order to keep her away from me? That would probably be a good idea. Jenny AG agreed. And Jenny AGR. Jenny agreed. Lisa turned to Jerry. I believe that my mom wasn't an honest person to begin with, and as such was easily convinced that my dad had cheated on her. Then when she cheated on him and found out that he'd been faithful, she couldn't deal with that and went deeper into being a slut. I am not a slut. Hang on. And I will never be a slut. I don't like players like my mom's friends. Hang on, let me give that one emphasis too. She held up her hands and made quotation marks with her fingers. That's why I agreed to do to you what I did. Being a player ruins families. My dad likes you and thinks you're better than you pretend to be. Jerry was silent for several minutes. Then he muttered, I'm an asshole. What'd you say? Lisa asked, not quite sure she heard him right. I'm an asshole, he said a bit louder. No, I'm a stupid asshole. Really? Lisa said, stated more than asked, in surprise at his confession. Hang on, I went too far. Surprised at his confession. Yeah, stupid, arrogant asshole. Okay, if you want to date me, here's the first rule: no swearing. Yes, there. What did you say? Something my grandpa used to say. I didn't get it until now. What was that? Happy wife equals happy life. The best way to happy wife is yes, there. Oh, okay. Lisa sat back with a big ear-to-ear grin on her face. Phalen noticed the grin in the mirror and reached over and tapped Jenny on the hand and gestured to the back seat. Jenny glanced back and saw the grin. A couple minutes later, she glanced back again. It was still there. What's the big smile for, Lisa? I think I found someone who wants to marry me, even if he doesn't fully realize it, Lisa said thoughtfully. Then after a minute, she spoke again. Phalen. Phalen, do you think Jerry would make a good, faithful husband? Phalen looked in the rearview mirror at Jerry, who had a dumbfounded look on his face with his mouth hanging open a little. He might if he stops acting like an idiot and works to become the man your dad and I think he is inside. After a few seconds, Jerry closed it and smiled. After another minute, he reached over and took Lisa's hand and brought it to his lips and kissed it. Uh, Lisa Lang, it has a nice ring to it. Phalen sighed. What is it about the end of the world that makes everyone want to get married? Do you, Jenny asked. Yes, I want to marry you. Jenny Knight, will you marry me? Yes, I will. She unbuckled her seatbelt, slid to the middle seat, and buckled herself in there and snuggled up tight to Phalen. Lisa turned in her seat to face Jerry, who was smiling at Phalen and Jenny. She squeezed his hand gently to get him to look back at her. When he did, she stared deeply into his eyes and leaned closer. He leaned in a little bit as well. Then she raised her eyebrows and dipped her head to say, "Go on." Jerry swallowed hard and then spoke. Lisa Rhodes, will you marry me? Yes, I will, she said quickly. Oh shit, your dad's gonna kill me, Phalen said. Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay, hang on. Let me get something to drink here. Uh, let's see. One. All right. Oh, wow. I didn't notice everyone dropped out. Okay. Not everyone, but, most. All righty. So where I'm at, I'm on page 47. And go down here, and this is it's 20 pages there. 47. Did 10 pages. All right. All right. Hang on a minute, guys. I gotta go check on the grandsons, make sure they're not causing any trouble, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Grandsons are watching Incredibles 2 and pretty much under control. 30 minutes later, Phalen's caravan pulled into the outlets at Anthem. There were 6 families already there, and they were parked on the west side near the Levi's store. There were 2 Class A RVs and 3 ball hitch travel trailers. These each were hang on, let me there we go. These were being pulled by 110 pickups. And one F650 crew cab toy hauler pulling a massive 5th wheel trailer. 2, 3, yeah, 6. Okay, there we go. Once they were parked next to the 6 families, everyone migrated to Phalen's old 1-ton power wagon. It turned out that all right. Hang on, let me check something out here and go to. Okay, not 2. Okay. All right, let me see something here right now. I just noticed a comment here that I missed. Let's see if I can figure it out. Control F. And that was that was a while back. Okay, so let me go up. I'm going the wrong way. Tuck. Yeah, that's right, TWO. Okay. And then I go back down. 1, 2. There we go. Let me go take a look, see at this in here. I'm just checking something on the computer here real quick here. Okay, 9 subscribers, 2011. Okay. There is Sonia. All right. Sonia. All right. All right. Jenny decided to take Lisa and went into the Levi's outlet store to give her several pair of 517 boot jeans. I can't accept these, Lisa complained. Sure you can. I just want some of the alpaca wool in return, Jenny smiled. Okay, then it's a deal, but first I have to buy some alpacas. Now we need to get you a pair of good work boots, top walking shoes when we get back. I got 2 pair of Keen hiking boots. Some of my friends convinced my mom that they were fashionable, so she let me get them. Okay, let's head back before our men get worried about us. Ow, dang. Sore muscle, spasming. Ow. All right. Let's head back before our men get worried about us. Soon the other. Hang on here. Class A. Hang on. Let me go back and fix that. There we go. All right. Soon the other 4 families arrived. They had a Class A RV, a green Escalade, dark blue Ford Excursion, and camel painted Chevy Suburban. All 4 were pulling 3-axle trailers, ranging in length from 20 feet to the 26 feet. They all looked to be riding low. After a brief confab, everyone loaded up and they were on their way. 5 hours later, they pulled up to the gate to Phalen's ranch, or the lake as everyone called it. Phalen handed Jenny the key and told her to leave it open and that the last one through would close and lock it. She hopped out, unlocked the gate, and wheeled it open. They drove first to the main house area with the cargo containers for their supplies. Any vehicle with a trailer pulled over to one of the 6 cargo containers and started to move supplies into the containers by the type of supply. One container had rice and beans, another one had canned goods, Another one had pasta and flour and so forth. Once the trailers were unloaded, the RVs and travel trailers were set up usually by their owners and then double checked by someone else. And else to the checked by someone else to make sure the connections were proper and secure. Max and Gary went and checked out the power systems, including the photoelectric solar panels and 6 wind powered generators, which fed the 48-volt lithium iron phosphate battery system. Then they checked on the new water-powered generators that Phalen had completed installing since their last group visit. The first generator was up by his cabin. The second was down just a little inside the tree line. And the third, what do you need? Okay, I'll be there in a minute. All right. Let's see, where was I? Oh, and the third and biggest was at the lake's edge. All three drew water from one of the mountain streams that flowed through the property year-round. Each of the generators had a speed governor on it to prevent it from over-generating and burning equipment out. The speed governors would adjust the output to match the demand of the buildings that were hooked up to each one. Some of the homes and RV pads had transfer switches. The first water siphon took water from the stream about 2 yards into the property in a heavily wooded and steep area. There was a small natural pool about 30 feet across and 50 feet long. It was about 8 feet deep, and Phalen had tapped into the pool about 2 feet from the bottom with a piece of 15-inch black double-wall plastic drain pipe. He chose to use that type of pipe because it was nearly invisible for the several feet it protruded into the pool. He had it 2 feet off the bottom to keep any silt from getting into the pipe and damaging the turbine. After 200 feet and a drop of 20 feet, he reduced it to 12-inch pipe. After another 200 feet, he reduced it to 8-inch PVC water pipe. The PVC had a higher pressure rating than the plastic pipe. 300 feet later and 60 feet lower in elevation, he changed it to 6-inch pipe. 200 feet further, he reduced the pipe to 4-inch. Then 100 feet after that was where he had the water turbine generator that was 135 feet lower than the starting point. He had a 20 kilowatt generator hidden in a cement box that he built into the hillside. All right. Hang on, I got to check on the kids. They're trying to go outside, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, two of the grandsons went home because they spotted that their dad was home, so they're heading over there. The youngest one is staying here because that means he's now got full control of the TV. So yeah, he's excited about that. So all right, let's get on with this here for a little bit more. All the pipes are buried at least 2 feet to protect them from freezing weather and anything falling on them. The generator box was totally camouflaged by view. So the generator box was totally camouflaged from view so well that you could stand on the slab roof of the box and you wouldn't know it was there. To dispose of the water after it exited the turbine, he had installed 300 feet of 8-inch ABS sewer pipe to take it back to the stream. The 8-inch pipe emptied into another pool, and the pipe was at the bottom of the pool, so it could not be seen. With the pipe at the bottom, with the pipe at the bottom of the pool, so it could not be seen. Yeah, there we go. That looks better. The second generator was set up in a similar way, drawing its water from way up the stream to a hidden generator box and returned to the stream. This one was providing power to several small barns and an old bunkhouse that was 1.25 miles from the main house area and the RV pads. One of the barns housed freezers, and another had been converted into an indoor greenhouse, although nothing had been planted yet. A third barn had some machine shop equipment stored in it, but was not completed in being set up to be able to use any of it. The third generator fed power to the switching station they had built between the big house, the big barn, and the RV pads. The switching station also received power from the wind turbines and solar panels, which were the primary power for the lake housing. It could shuttle power to any location if there was a higher draw than what was being generated, or if a generator was down for maintenance. All right. Mark Chisholm was using Mike's hang on here, get some goop out of my eyes here. There we go. Mark Chisholm was using his brother Mike's F-250 to make the rounds to the pharmacies to get some of the supplies from Lisa's list. This was his third trip out this morning since the others left, and he had shopped at the pharmacies that were open 24 hours like Walgreens and CVS. Now he's hitting the ones that opened early, and he would get enough. He opened early. He would get enough of Lisa's pharmacy supplies to last for 2 years, then work on some of the other items. Uh, 4 hours later, Mark had hit just about every pharmacy in the immediate area, and was able to, just in a word, get almost everything on the list. When he was at the first pharmacy, he had added some items to Lisa's list: Sudafed, cough syrup, cough drops, airborne Zicam. He also picked up cloth diapers every chance he got. Mark received some cow-eyed looks from some of the women when they saw he was picking up feminine hygiene supplies. One even muttered to her friend she wished that her husband would do that. As he headed back to Phalen's house, he passed by one of the Costco warehouses and saw there was a line already forming and it wouldn't open for another hour. Things were definitely going to get bad. It looked like a lot of people decided not to buy into the president's message after they thought about it. Last night he watched the news after everyone else had gone to bed. Okay, yeah, because it wasn't everyone didn't go to bed because there we go, gone to bed or to talk. They were going around town showing that everything was quiet and peaceful. At this rate, the world would go nuts shortly, and the group would have to make do with what they had and wait until the dust settled and get only the essential supplies. If the president had given out bad information, this was going to be the end of the world as we know it. They would just have to ration supplies until the die-off was over, and then got searched. No, and then go search the ruins for anything they could find. As Mark was heading north on the freeway, he drove by Dick's Sporting Goods and noticed there was no one in the parking lot yet. He sped up to get to Phalen's to unload the truck and get back to Dick's before anyone thought to get hunting supplies. He had what he had considered before to be a decent amount of ammo, but now he wanted a lot more. He wondered what they had in the way of a lot more. He wondered what they also wondered what they had in the way of archery supplies. That would be a fallback for hunting. They would have to try to conserve ammo for defense and big game hunting. Then it hit him, muzzle loaders. They needed to get some muzzle loading black powder weapons. Oh man, hang on. Oh, what suddenly got in my eye? It is burning. I feel it's one of those little gnats that are out early this time of year and decided, oh, wow, moisture. Let's go drink some stuff from this guy's eye. There, that burning went away. They needed to get some muzzle loading black powder some black powder muzzle loading weapons and supplies. He stayed on the I-10 instead of getting off to go to Phalen's and headed to Cabela's in Glendale. He was about 20 minutes away, so he called Dave at S&S Firearms. Dave, Mark Chisholm here. Yeah, they're on their way with everything we got last night. Hey, I was wondering what what you had in the way of muzzle loaders. Only 3 rifles? Damn, go ahead and pull them and all the supplies you have for them. Yeah, everything. I got the feeling we're gonna need them. Uh, Let me do this in a year or 3. All right, I'll see you in a couple hours when I finish getting other supplies. Bye. They would need more than 3 black powder rifles, so he kept going to Cabela's and hoped that they had some black powder pistols too. Hmm. After overseeing the unloading operations, Phalen and Jenny drove uh, the Dodge Power Wagon up to his cabin to unload all of their personal supplies and firearms. There was a garage next to the cabin that was 2 stalls wide and 2.5 deep. Next to the cabin on the other side was an RV steel canopy carport with hookups for 2 RVs and travel trailers. About that. Hang on, I gotta check. I gotta do some research. I just forgot I included this in early descriptions when I was working on this later on. I need to pull up a spreadsheet here. Okay, there it is. There, that is. Okay, and so this is going to be back up near the top. That's going to be masters. Okay, Control C. And drop that back down. Go up here. That's on page 50. Okay. Control V. What do you mean? Nothing in for Jake Masters. Dang it. Quartermasters. Ah. There we go. Okay, so that's in chapter 14. So I got to fix this here now. Okay. All right. So this is the part here. Okay. No. All right. Here's where I got to fix things. Okay. So this is going to be. All right. 'Next to Control C. Okay. Now this is going to be. Um, $14. Uh, all right, here we go. All right. Yeah, sometimes there's certain things I know in the story that I wasn't sure about and I couldn't figure out where I found it. Well, this time I found it, so I'm going to fix it here. Okay, now let me fix this. This trailer under the on the side of the garage. From the garage. Hang on. For two hookup. Okay, Phalen had backed up Jake's trailer under the RV canopy carport. Okay, now I got this part here. Now I need to add one more thing to it here. Let's see. Uh, okay. Go down here. Yeah. Hang on. Let me get this. Let me get this other part taken care of. All right, there we go. Okay, now hit save. And Control F. There we go. Now we're back to it here. All right, got that saved and ready to go here. Yeah, I found it's always best when I find a continuity error between two different sections of the book to fix it right then and not wait until I get to the second one because I may have forgotten about it by then. Notice I was over here. Okay, so Phalen and Jenny drove the Dodge Power Wagon up to his cabin to unload all of their personal supplies and firearms. There was a garage next to the cabin that was 2 stalls wide and 2.5 deep. Next to the cabin on the other side, hang on here. Hang on. Dang it. Okay. Okay. Far side. There we go. Ran the length. Trailer Ranger 2. There we go. Got to get this back in there too. All right. So on the far side of the garage was a lean-to overhang that ran the length of the garage where he could park trailers or the Ranger 2 and have them protected from rain and snow. There we go. All right. Save. There we go. Got that. Okay. Rain and snow. Next to the cabin on the other side was an RV steel canopy carport with 2 hookups for RVs and travel trailers. Phalen reached into the glove box and pulled out a different garage door remote and pushed it 3 times. And the garage door closest to the house opened. He did a 3-point turn and backed into the garage and closed the door after them. All right. Give me a minute. I'll be right back. I got to take care of something. So don't go anywhere. Hang tight. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Okay, so where was I here? He gave, hang on, what do you want, Oliver? Besides, say hi to everybody. What do you want? Food. Come on, you must want. All right, if you want food, I'll get you in about 20 minutes, okay? Go. All righty. So, let's see what we got here. All right. Gave Jenny a quick tour, starting with some of the features of the garage. As you can see, I have another Humvee here. It was painted flat green with the front half painted woodland camo. I've been working on painting it a little at a time. Over here is the mudroom and shower for winter time, or if you get into poison oak by mistake. 10-foot room with a 4 by 4 4 foot by 4 foot shower area with a curtain. On the opposite wall was a wooden bench that was coated with several coats of urethane. Around the side of the shower was a sink and toilet. I put it out here so mud and poison oak clothing doesn't get tracked into the house. This is the way to the house. He ushered it out the side door to an extra wide covered walkway that was 10 feet long. I made it covered because I didn't want snow falling on the walkway. And there are glass panels that lock into place to make it fully snowproof once winter really sets in. Then he pointed to the right to a brick barbecue and covered kitchen area by the hillside. That's where I cook in the summertime. I don't like to heat up the house cooking. There are 2 3-burner stoves for cooking on and canning. He led her onto the side door of the house. It had a PIN code and key lock. The code is 22*45110. Oh, hang on a minute. That was the boss calling. So I'm going to wrap this up here in the next 10 minutes, and we got some personal stuff to talk about. All right. Yeah, watch your time here. Okay. To remember that, think of a 22 rifle and 45 110 sharps. There's another on the front door, same code. Jenny smiled and nodded. I like it. They entered the utility room where there was a washer and dryer, 2 upright freezers, a 4-foot counter with cabinets below and above it. Whoa, 12-foot ceilings, nice, Jenny said and added with a teasing smile on her face. I hope you're not suggesting I'm going to be the one doing the laundry. Oh, heck no, I do my own laundry. Anyways, now we go into the, hang on. Anyways, now we go into the kitchen. As they entered, Jenny gasped, oh my, this is gorgeous. This is the largest single unit stove that Wolf makes. I can cook two full-size wild turkeys in this baby. The refrigerator freezers are also Wolf. That's a double over-under convection stove. There's a toaster oven, 2 microwaves. The small one is only 600 watts that I added for warming hot chocolate and cooking hot dogs and small stuff where I don't want to use the 1500 watt used the 1500-watt microwave. The cabinets are not even half full yet, and I've picked up quite a few gadgets. The kitchen and utility room took almost half of the first floor, and the rest was a half bath. Hang on, the rest was a dining area. I gotta switch this around here. And living room with hardwood floor. In the center of the cabin was a wide staircase with a half bath of a half bath and under it. There we go. Yeah, okay. Wow, this must have been expensive to build. Not as much as you would think. All the wood is from the property, and it's a simple layout. We mill it all down by the tree line, drill and route the electrical channels and everything, then put it together. But it did take 2 years to build. Behind the stairs is a half bath. Upstairs is where we have to take all of the guns and ammo. As they went up the stairs, he continued. The second floor is 3 bedrooms and a full bath. I'm using one of the bedrooms for an office and the other for an armory. At the top of the stairs, he turned right and went into one of the bedrooms. There were 2 gun safes against one of the outside walls. A twin bed was in front of the window of the other outside wall. On top of the headboard and footboard was a sheet of 1 1/8" plywood that was used as a table. Phalen set the boxes of guns he was carrying on the plywood and then helped Jenny with her boxes. Okay, let's get the rest in here, and then I'll show you the rest of the place. After 4 more trips, they had all the guns and ammo in the armory. Once it was there, Phalen unlocked one of the gun safes and placed the new guns inside of it and closed it. The combination is my birth date backwards. And then they headed up to the 3rd floor. On this floor, there are 3 more bedrooms and a full bath, just like the 2nd floor, only the floor plan is flipped to work with the stair placement. Both the 2nd and 3rd floors have 10-foot ceilings. He started at the next set of stairs. Up here is the master bedroom suite. I made it roomy for whoever was going to fall for you and be willing to stay out here. Jenny said to you quickly. Yeah, Phalen said sheepishly as he blushed. When they reached the top of the stairs, they walked into a foyer area that had one window that looked out at the side of the hillside behind the cabin. 2 doors, one on each side wall. Under the window was a love seat and 2 pedestal tables, one on each side of the love seat. The door to the right goes into the bathroom and then into the bedroom. The one on the left goes directly into the bedroom. Phalen smiled and he added, and yes, the entire top floor is the master bedroom, suite, and bath. Come on. He led her through the left door, and into the bedroom. Again, Jenny gasped and awed at what Phalen had built. There was a king-size bed against the front wall between two windows, with a nightstand under each window. On the wall against the stairwell was a 72-inch TV with a cadenza below, or two 75-inch TVs with a cadenza below them. There were two high-back wooden rocking chairs and two plush reclining chairs covered with leather, one on either side of the stairwells. Each rock and recliner was between each rock and recliner was an oak dresser with an oval mirror above it. Phalen directed her to the dresser on the right. This one's yours. Jenny turned around and threw herself into Phalen, wrapping her arms around his chest. This is better than anything I dreamed of. Phalen hugged her back and kissed the top of her head. Wait till you see the bathroom. With her arms still around him, she leaned back and looked at him. What'd you build in there? Come on. He moved her towards the bedroom as she released her hug, and it was a little as he released his hug. She was a little slower to release hers. He opened the door wide and turned on the lights. Jenny stood speechless. Okay, I'm going to stop here at 52 because I got to give my wife a call. And put it down here. And I'm going to turn that to a highlight. And we'll pick this up. Pros. And we'll pick this up. And we'll pick this up tomorrow morning. What did I miss here? Comments. Moon over Miami. Okay. Came in, and just as I'm getting ready to leave here. Okay. Yeah, so we'll pick this up tomorrow morning, and we'll pick up right there. And I got to give the wife a call. All right. So take care, folks, and I will see you tomorrow.